We hereby proclaim Friday, June 9th, as Queens Pride Day in the borough of Queens.
Dr. Lieberman from the Wagner Archives explained to us that Council Member Danny Dromm had given his collection to the archives, and they wanted to create a show that would celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Pride Parade in Queens, and also shed the light on a part of the fight for equality that very few people know.
You know, it's always been my intention to make sure that people understand that there's a history here in Queens to the LGBT movement.
We were able to expand the project.
We received a fellowship from the Gardner Foundation based in Long Island, and the archive staff decided to use the funding from this fellowship to support the work of student scholars on campus. These students here at LaGuardia Community College had never worked with archival sources before, so it was especially exciting.
We were the first people to go through the archives of Danny Dromm, which is a big collection of years of LGBTQ history that no one's ever looked at before. So for us to be able to go through it first was a really exciting experience.
We have 5 students that are within the commercial photography program. We worked as mentors in order to give them photo projects. These are the individuals, the politicians, the activists, the pioneers.
I was delighted to see LaGuardia Community College students, some of whom are here today, interviewing many of the early activists and recording them for posterity.
I interviewed Jared Fox, the first LGBT liaison for the Department of Education. I spoke with Councilman Danny Dromm. I also spoke with a young man named Rocky Sanabria, who is a transgender teen, and he just shared a lot of information with me about his courage to speak out to Congress, and, to the school board.
I focused on the AIDS Center of Queens County, which is one of the oldest HIV/AIDS institutions in Queens, and it's still around today. It was founded in 1986 by Douglas Feldman. I was able to reach out to him and conduct an oral history with him. That dialogue helped me to understand what it was like to experience the stigma of being one of the first HIV/AIDS institutions in Queens.
I am here tonight as the openly gay majority leader of the New York City Council with my husband. The Pride Parade in Queens told generations of LGBTQ youth and others that you don't have to move to be who you are.
As I walked through that exhibit, I felt myself welling up with pride. It's important to tell our stories because we know what we owe the pioneers of the movement, the real-life heroes who persuaded and demanded and pushed and prodded and sometimes bled and died to make our city a better place, a more welcoming place, and a loving place for all. It's all of us. We carry the legacy with us as we continue the fight.
This whole section here was done by one of our photographers, Ryan Tiscaneto. It was wonderful to see the growth in him because the first time that he came around, he had to make that breakthrough into that community. He had to earn their trust.
While shooting this project, 2 trans women were murdered. The very first time I had gone to shoot a trans woman, she actually threatened me and she tried to knock the camera out of my hand. I needed to really get in there and let them know who I was and that I was a friend and not an enemy, and I wasn't trying to show them in a bad light by any means. I didn't want them to think that I was an event photographer. I wanted them to know that they were now becoming a part of history.
So little by little, his images got better and better. We went over some technical aspects in regards to low light conditions and shooting, and then ultimately, this is what came out to be. Something beautiful and wonderful and colorful. I think it's very representational of the life that you feel at night.
Watching the history come alive and remembering that there is a distinctiveness to what happens in Queens. Here, it was family, it was teachers, it was neighborhoods, it was people that you saw every day. it was immigrant communities, it was ethnic communities, and it was the tension, as Danny Dromm has said so well, between love and hate that allowed for the courage to emerge that you see represented both in this room and in the extraordinary exhibit.
So it's very exciting to find these photos and these articles and things back in the 90s for this project. It was just very exciting to dig into a little piece of history and also to be a part of it too.
In the LaGuardia Wagner Archives, we use the archives as a living history. Classes come in, we make copies for the students to actually read primary sources. We try to get everything we have out there somehow through the internet, through special programs, through exhibits like this one.
This exhibition and the archives it drew from are here for us to enjoy, to look back on not only the years of struggle, but also the fun we had along the way. But there's an even greater purpose to this evening. Everything we gathered and saved throughout the years, the photographs, the videos, the newspaper clippings, and flyers are more than just memories. They are powerful weapons against the invisibility that unfortunately was too common in our early history.
Anyone who's doing any type of research will benefit from going to an archive and looking something up. You might find the name of a person that is critical to your research, and then you can go off from there. It's very much a create your own adventure kind of thing. So I think it can only add to any research that you're doing.
This could provide the basis for essays, for articles, for dissertations, for future books.
We are open to the public, and anyone interested in coming to do research, you're welcome to visit us.